Hello, Mr. Pace. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We're getting a blistering number of people coming to the website and looking at the videos about the recall, and someone asked me to talk about this issue, debunking what Mrs. Pitsy is doing on Nextdoor, so I'm going to take that time. Let's start off with one narrative that's being totally false and untrue and just distruthful, or whatever word you want to use with it, and we're fine. Park and Rec Consultant number 7, done on January 23rd, 2017. Motion to hire Park and Rec, to hire Park and Rec, to hire Park and Rec, to hire Park and Rec Consultant to assist with remodeling, to work with district directors. Guess who did it? President Killett, seconded by Director Bliss, and then they went on, motion carried, and everybody took a short break. That consultant was Mrs. Pitsy. At the same meeting, they dismissed Mr. McNally, okay? So now, I want to go on to information on this, because I'm not going to post this, okay? The rec centers used to be run by the YMCA. Okay, what started the original recall back in the day was that Mrs. Pitsy wanted to get rid of the YMCA. I didn't like the YMCA because of what they were charging us, and they wanted to raise their fees. That was what I testified to in court. Then there was an issue of whether or not they could run it more efficiently. So that's the reason why we got rid of the YMCA, not for any other reason. They were doing a fine job. So guess whose idea that was? All right, well, let's roll on from there. Then, when the staff of the YMCA lost their jobs, there was accusations of theft by people who were working for the YMCA, and one of those people, by the way, was hired by the same person who now runs and controls this district. Okay? That's what we found out back then. They actually took YMCA documents and gave them to the district so the district could use them in operating this place on their own. I'm not going to use your name, it's not right. Okay? That information came to me from Mr., Stan. So Stan's a good friend of mine, nice guy, great human being, all-around great husband, super guy, and a great tutor, okay? And what the district did is set up a budget. They couldn't meet the budget after Stan left, and neither could they after this whole thing went sideways. So they started using money from other accounts and making it look like they had more money, when in reality, that's not what happened, okay? Now, they'll deny that statement, but that's fine, because I wasn't the only one that found out about it. It was actually brought to my attention by people working in the district at the Park and Rec. So does anybody here who know who that person was that wanted to honcho the entire deal? Yep, you guessed it, the consultant. So just so we're clear on something, this has been going on since 2008, okay? And we're in 17. So guys want to get your facts straight about how all this stuff went. I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to glide through a lot of this, and we're going to get into a lot of this, okay? Jonathan, I am not an employee of Woodman Hills. That's Mrs. Pitsy, by the way. False! Okay? When the RCE was built, the residents were asked if they wanted a gymnasium or an indoor swimming pool, and they voted for the pool. False! No, it's not what happened. What happened was they were starting to lose sales on what was going on. Because in the beginning, we only, and it's in the service plan, one rec center, a bunch of trails, and that golf course. This building over here, the second rec center, was not in the original service plan. Okay? So it ended up being a sales point. That's why they wanted to put it in, so they could drum up the sales for the houses. Okay? The original plat was for 1,180 or 50 or 80 acres and 1,150 homes. Look it up in the service plan, okay? Oh, and I have it over here, and you can look it up too. As for the repairs to the rec center, bunkus. She says they can't do any major repairs. Yes, you can. And the CTF funds that have been here since day one and available to Woodman Hills would have gone a long way into paying for all those maintenance and upkeeps and repairs. So that's false. I talked to the CTF people, who are now very inquisitive about what's going on with me not getting the records about the expenditures made. So that's going to be looked into as well, all right? So, right, and then this lady goes on to tell Jan that basically the meeting at the firehouse didn't resolve anything, because Mrs. Pitsy said, well, it resolved a lot. No, it didn't. I was there. Okay, all they did was send in the mouthpiece to cover for everybody and to basically get a general overview of who was at the meeting. If there was 50 or 60 people there, yeah, it would have been something else, but there wasn't, but they went with that, okay? Let's see. They stopped holding the socials because they were basically informal board meetings, because 3 or more, there would be at least 3 people there that were board members, and they were discussing district business, while the lawyers who we pay told them it was okay and they turned a blind eye. No, wrong. Can't do that. It's in the SDA guidelines. They were just doing whatever they wanted. That's why they stopped. And if they're holding those socials now, it's unbeknownst to me because there's nothing posted anywhere, so that's not true either. Oh, Mr. Bendelow, I apologize. Before you beat me like a baby seal and club me, can I use the word not true? Send me an email. I don't want to get in your bad graces and have you sue me for something else, okay? Let me see, what do we have here? In the olden days, the community wasn't allowed to ask questions. No, we were. And there was no time limit. We could actually speak our minds without a time limit. What word would you like me to use? I was there. Okay? Let's see. None of the park and recs are falling apart. Yeah, they are, because that's the reason why you claimed we need to do all these renovations, because you yourself said it, Ms. Consultant, that things are in bad shape. They are in disrepair. But whose fault is that? You were on the board for 8 years. You wanted to build pretty parks to get votes and do all these things to make yourself look better, right? That's how you win elections. Instead of maintaining the buildings with the CTF funds available. So what was the first act of the board when they came on board in January and changed everything? Come on. Was to vote for the $500,000 so the new special consultant could work on a building that doesn't need it. But you weren't consulted, folks. Oh, and by the way, their consultant that told them last year that spending the money to do all that stuff was not a good idea, you don't sign that report because they wouldn't give it to me. All right? It was a finished report. I have a right to see it, and they denied me that report. The people on Nextdoor, you're right. They do everything to go out of their way to show that transparency here is dead. It's almost like Chernobyl buried under the cement. Well, you can dig it up, you can have it, but we're not going to give it to you. All right, let's go to this one. This is the part that made me smile, okay? This one says, maybe because of what's happening all around us that I am emotional. You're not emotional. You're emotional because you're losing the fight and you can't depict me as this evil animal anymore. That you've accused of so many atrocities under the sun that when people come here now they're going, wait a minute, he's not even unreasonable. Jan, what's going on? What do we do now? What do we do, lawyers? Other board members, what do we do? Well, let's get together. Well, we accused him of being a pig, a stalker, a molester, and a felon, and a misdemeanorist, and a harasser, and a stalker, and a blah, blah, blah. What do we do now, lawyers? I know. We can sue him. Let's sue Ron again. What do we have to do? Oh, nothing. We'll just make it up. Oh, I absolutely agree. Let's make it up and go with it. Oh, Jan, you're so spiffy keen, peachy keen. Let's do it. Hey, what do you think, Mike? I'm your wife. Can we go after Ron again? Yes, we can. Let's do it. Ha, 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 ha. We have money. Ha, ha, ha. I'm sorry. I just had to have fun with this. That's how silly it's becoming. You're now seeing the board become demonstrative because I'm not. Sorry, I could do a little bit better job on the characters, but I'm working on it. Oh, and then you have the district director. Well, Jan, I'm your best friend. Ron, you don't understand. Oh, board of directors, I'm going to do what you want. Oh, Ron, I'm giving you your records. Oh, board, I need my job. Does that sound right? That's my best rendition of being two-faced. I can't do any better than that. So, hold on. I am sad to see that so many people are unhappy. When you accused me of being unhappy, you told me to get the hell out of the district. So do you want to invite all those people who are unhappy to leave too? Great job. Way to go. You're just outing yourself all over these rants if people actually follow along. And you come to social media and bash when you need to come to a board meeting. No. You can't control them on Nextdoor. That's where you're losing your mind. And the board knows it. Because you can't control free will thinking, intelligent people on both sides of the desk, one way or the other. You can't stop them. And then the ones that you think you can pick on, like Mrs. Vance, and you called her a bunch of names on here, right? So I'm not done yet. This one's the great one. We are building our wastewater treatment plant at no cost to residents. I'm hoping I can use that one in court. That's a dangerous statement. You have now said that it's not going to be at any cost to residents. I got to find out whether or not I can do something with that statement, because you are in fact an employee of this district and a special consultant. That was a dangerous statement. That statement is so false and so much of a you-know-what. I got to find out if that one actually has consequences. That's why I'm so excited when I read it. Which means that the value of our homes will increase. That one is another false statement. Okay? And I'm trying to search the word right now. You're basically saying that when we build this wastewater treatment plant, indicative of that will raise the values of our property having a wastewater treatment plant. No. Other districts have wastewater treatment plants and their values go up and down with the times. It also goes up and down with supply and demand. And right now we're on a high. So that's going to be the fun one. You have basically stated that the value of our home, this is unbelievable, which means that the value of our homes will increase. You've now told us that when we build that plant, the values are going to go up. That is a hugely dangerous statement to make. And on that note, now you get to see the real Pitsy and why she should never have been brought on as a consultant. Those are very dangerous statements to make, and now I'm going to wonder if I can hold Woodman Hills accountable for the statement she just made as their hired employee or consultant. Either way, she was hired. I'm going to end on that. That's a dangerous statement to make. You have no way to be able to verify whether or not that the values of our homes will be predicated on building that wastewater plant. I'm so glad you just came on here and did that. How is Daniel Cole going to save you from that one? You've already done it. Thanks a lot, Mrs. Pitsy. You did it again.